Sheriff's with us. Good morning, Sheriff.
Good morning.
I suppose do you guys have extra staffing for this particular weekend?
Nothing really extra, but we do kind of limit the number of folks that can take time. So hopefully we're a little bit better staffed.
So your staff people that are hunters will be hunting on Monday.
Correct.
Gotcha.
Actually, probably Wednesday. This group is the Friday through
I see.
Friday through Tuesday crew.
And there is extra people up here.
There is lots of extra people.
Generally speaking, are all of the non-locals good, respectable people? You don't get a bunch of fishing people in May that are causing a bunch of trouble.
No, for the most part, things go pretty well.
Well, the invasive species they bring around.
Well, that they do.
Just kind of kidding, but not really. It's mostly peaceful deer camps, right?
Yeah, absolutely. There's
no rioting.
No, there's every once in a while we'll come across. Usually it's something with trespassing. Usually it's either trespassing or a squabble over property lines or something like that we'll deal with. But and a lot of those types of cases the DNR handles as well. So
What should people be on the lookout for out in the woods if they see, for instance, some piece of clothing that's like, why is that there?
yeah, if it's you come across a pair of pants, you come across a shirt, do a little bit of a inspection around and see if there's anything else around, you can certainly give us a call. We're asking for the public's help specifically up in the Kelly area right now with our missing person there, Mr. Russell Coyle. And we'd have no reason to believe that he's necessarily, one particular place or another. It's just, this time of the year with a lot of people being out trampling down the woods, in edges of fields and whatnot, it's a good opportunity to pay attention to, what could be around you. And if you do come across something, obviously give our law enforcement center a call. And if you don't know the number, you can certainly call 911 for something like that. We can always transfer it to another line or have you call back on a non-emergency line, depending on how busy we are. So,
and make sure your phone's charged before you go out tomorrow.
Yes, and don't rely on your phone for your compass or your nav. You can use it, but have a backup with you, please.
Yeah, let's be fun. Have a real one.
Yeah, and know how to use a compass, not just take it out in the woods with you. The general public is not the best at directions.
So do you think, it always seems like, boy, the deer are bad in the ditches this year.
They're terrible.
Right? Probably the same as every year.
Every year.
Have you guys hit more deer?
Typically, this is the season where a lot of this stuff, and we put out stuff to our guys and gals every year this time, like, hey, deer are moving more, slow down. We'll probably hit between 4 and 10, depending on, what kind of a season it is. This year, with the last couple winters that we've had, they were dropping fawns left and right this spring, and there's just a lot of deer.
Perfect.
Are we still not supposed to swerve to miss them?
If you're at highway speeds, I would not swerve. Brake, pull over. You swerve to miss a deer, we've seen bad things happen at highway speeds. So, yeah, it's always recommended that you just brake and pull over to the side if you can. When you swerve at highway speeds, your tires will break traction. You will most likely lose control of the vehicle, and it's not worth, a deer hit's a deer hit, but it's not worth you getting injured or you going into some other lane and injuring somebody else. So
Safe to say that you don't see many motorcyclists this time of year?
I've seen a couple, and I'm like, you guys are crazy. especially at night. There is not a chance I would be riding motorcycle at night.
No.
No.
You lose.
Yep.
And it's cold. But there is a certain time of year, you're right. Late.
They're trying to get that last, I get it. They're trying to get that last little bit of riding in before they can't anymore.
Until April.
Yeah.
Oh, there are a lot of people though, that find a way to ride every month. I get that. It's kind of cool up here. But not this time of year, I wouldn't. Maybe I would at noon.
Yeah.
How's the jail coming?
Coming along great. Getting that roof poured, getting all the internal floors poured. The first week of December, we're looking at the cells being delivered and starting to get put into the facility. And those are prefab manufactured pods, basically, that are going to be shipped and then arriving and kind of stacked into place as they arrive. All of the plumbing, it's just like plug and play. It's very, very. When I went and toured Itasca County's jail when they're in their build process, it was very interesting to see how they do it. They got these runs behind the pods that have all of the shutoffs and everything, and so all the stuff just kind of plugs into the cell. Everything, the showers, everything is right there. So it's very, very, I want to say, build friendly.
Sheriff said we could have a tour. Broadcast live from Pod 1A.
You have fun with that.
Have a little lunch. Well, good. So, you grown up in Minnesota, right?
Yep.
So, did your father hunt, your family hunt?
Yep, we did our fair share of hunting as a kid, and then as a young man when I came back from the service. My dad ended up moving away about 19 years ago to Washington, and ultimately I ended up kind of falling out of love with rifle season, just because I didn't have him anymore back home, and very expensive to travel back and forth to Washington.
Sure.
So I kind of took up bow hunting a little bit, and then I do. My boys all have liked rifle hunting at one time or another, so we've gone out a little bit here and there. My oldest daughter, she had me take her out a couple of years ago. It was kind of fun. We had to sit out in the stand together and freeze.
Mm-hmm.
What branch of service were you in?
The U.S. Navy for 4 years of active and 1 Naval Reserve.
Oh, well, thanks for serving. Veterans Day coming up.
Veterans Day is coming up, yeah.
Did you have a weapon as a naval officer?
Trained with one and carried one when I was working the security side of security forces. But that was a Colt 1911. World War II vintage. It was on its way out of the Navy at that time, but
Well, I was asking because I could imagine that someone that's in the Army that has been used to shooting the kind of weaponry that they shoot would maybe not want to come back here and gun deer hunt.
it's interesting you say that. There's a lot of guys that work in certain professions that find deer hunting boring because of that reason. There's an adage that I think it was one of the writers, I can't think of his name right now. It'll come to me. But he said, when you've hunted men, nothing else. And he's a World War II veteran. When you hunted men, it was Hemingway. When you've hunted men, nothing else.
Makes sense.
Nothing else takes the that prize, and take that for what it's worth. And it's not like you're hunting men to kill them, but when you're
in World War II,
when you're subject to taking life in a combat zone,
they're trying to take yours.
Exactly.
I get it, but all I know is we hear from people like, how could you do that to them? They don't live around here. And if everybody would have to run into a deer, we would all have the same opinion. We've got to get them off the road. We've got to hunt these.
Yeah,
deer.
there's appropriate management. I'm very much into the idea of conservation as far as there needs to be rules.
Sure.
We want to be able to regulate deer population. And I think, for the most part, the DNR does a fairly decent job of, they do deer counts. They do a lot of different testing and studies to see, what areas of Minnesota needs more regulation than others. I mean, I remember in years past hunting up here where you could go buy an over-the-counter tag for $5 after you shot your first one because the deer population was so heavy that there was that case. And then, like years like now, it's like you have to apply for a doe permit and you can take one buck, and if you get a doe, you can take a doe, but they're not, some zones in Minnesota don't have the over-the-counter extended harvest. So I think for the most part, I think it's a lot easier to count deer than fish, but I'm not quite sure. I'm not a scientist, so I don't know how all that works.
They are called wild animals for a reason.
Right.
They go where they want to.
Exactly. We're going to keep them in this area. I don't think so.
Deer can run. Well, great. Anything else, you guys? You got a busy day today?
Finishing up interviews for my administrative assistant. I think I told you last week we had 57 applicants.
57.
That's a lot of applicants. We offered 25 interviews. I think I've had 3 or 4 cancel or pull out of the process, but this whole week has been interviews.
Wow.
And so,
well, that's good to have a selection.
Yeah, it is. We had a process. We've named a new detective sergeant. We've named a new investigator in our office. And I'll be announcing today our new crime analyst. Jail staffing is doing very, very well. I mean, we still continue to have people come and go, but we're getting our employee numbers up.
Do you have to worry about the old jail? Is that where you still, or is the law enforcement center?
Yeah, the old jail is, the county commissioners actually made a decision to have it taken down.
Oh.
And that's exactly what I would have wanted to happen. I think the space would be benefited to do something else. I know there's a lot of people that say, well, what about turning it into this or what about turning it into that?
Yes, that's what I was
jail
getting
now
at.
costs a fortune to do anything other than that.
100%. I mean, it's inefficient to heat and cool. It has issues with the roof. It's got, and then because of that, I'm quite certain there's probably some issues in there that when they start, issues I don't know that we want to find out, but you can't, and it's the way that it's constructed, you can't just knock out interior walls. It's not something that would be renovated cheaply. Like it's something that would cost almost as much to build new.
You're saying that the walls in a jail cell aren't plaster and Andy Dufresne can't get out of there with a rock hammer? Come on.
There's one cell. There's one cell you can do that.
Yep. Yeah, but with that, with that being said, when the new facility is built, we'll do a transfer of inmates to the new facility. I would imagine there will still be some maintenance that goes on in the old facility until, we can't just let the place freeze up.
Right.
But once the decision is made, the time frame is made to actually do the breakdown of it, there'll be a construction area at that point, and we'll have to probably reevaluate some parking issues for court. We'll have some temporary, like right now, everybody that comes into custody goes through a tunnel system under the jail to the courthouse, and we have holding in the courthouse. We have, I think there's up to 30. We can hold up to 30 people in holding in the basement of the courthouse. And then actually each floor has some holding as well. But once that construction begins, we won't be able to use the sally port of the tunnel system. So inmates are going to temporarily have to come in and out of the building through a regular entrance. And then the new process would be building a sally port of some sort. There is some design concepts right now, but I'm not the design and operation committee and Klein McCarthy. I've been kind of going through that. So when people arrive to court from the new facility or from other facilities or the juvenile center, they'll use that new Sally Port that'll be just off of the north side of the courthouse.
I was just Googling if there's companies that buy old jail parts.
You know,
But they don't. I'm supposed you're not going to be putting them on Marketplace like, old jail door.
well, that's another part of the systems problem that we have is the systems that are in that jail are so obsolete. They don't even make parts for them anymore. So when things break down, it costs us 10 times more than what the average person would pay for a replacement because someone's got to actually
Go build it.
build it from scratch. Yeah. Locking mechanism. Because, I mean, door cells
Right.
slam and there's constant wear and tear. So, yeah. I don't imagine anybody buying our jail cell doors.
All it said was, yes, they buy it and then they salvage it.
Yeah.
That's a lot of metal.
Yes, there would be a lot of salvaged metal that comes out of the facility, I would assume. I don't know about electronics, but
You just see it on Facebook Marketplace. Sally door.
I was just imagining filling in these tunnels.
you know they did that with Central School.
Yeah.
School district had a auction site and they put it up there. I know people that bought several things from the Central School. We have a newer kitchen in the jail. That's going to be transferred over to the new facility.
Oh, okay.
So,
You already had some stuff. Just
Yep.
Kitchen's a kitchen.
Yep.
Doesn't matter what building it's in.
Correct.
Well, great. I hope you guys have a good weekend.
Yeah, we do too. I'll have more to report next Friday.
Right. Definitely different.
Maybe some stories.
There you go. Thanks for stopping by.
Yeah.